Hello and welcome to LaRosa Reads. I'm Denise LaRosa, and today I'm going to be sharing with all of you the 4 books that I read in August. Let's talk books. So how interesting is it that one of my reading months that I thought would be full of books, like that maybe I'd even get to 12 books, I only ended up reading 4, and I'm okay with that. I had a bit of a reading slump. I also had a joyous summer where I was doing things and going places and spending quality time with people, and I think that's what it's all about, is connection, and I love to connect through books, and if I'm connecting with people in other ways, that's fine too. So, without any further ado, let's dive into the books that I read in August. The first book that I finished in August was The Boyfriend Candidate by Ashley Winstead, and y'all, I loved everything about this book. It received a 5-star review from me, and I don't even know where to begin and how enjoyable this book was. So, first of all, I love me some characters that are engaging, entertaining, multi-layered. We definitely have that with our 2 lovebirds here. Alexis Stone is a school librarian, and then she is used to living this life that's quite dull. Her ex actually told her that she was pretty dull in the bedroom. And this sparked her to be interested in having a one-night stand to prove her ex wrong and to try to step out of her comfort zone, come out of her shell. I mean, that's quite the way to come out of your shell, but I digress. So she goes to this hotel, she gets a little tipsy, she meets this very attractive man, she lies about who she is and makes up this fantasy character in her mind of like basically who she wished she was, and they take off to a hotel room and the hotel catches on fire. So everybody has to evacuate, and she notices that, this guy that she's with that is whisking her out of the fire is getting a lot of attention by media outside, and then he just runs away. Well, there's a reason for that. Logan is running for governor of Texas. So he is a very eligible bachelor, very well known in Texas, and she just had no idea. And so to salvage his image, his people tell him, you guys have to pretend that you're like a legit thing and that this is a serious relationship so that your opponent doesn't try to portray you as some playboy that's unstable in romance, which also means you could be unstable running the state. So, of course, you guys, we have this fake dating trope. They're going to fall in love for real, for real. They do. There's some ups, there's some downs, there's some conflict. And it is so much fun. I love the political swing with things, like that little added layer to the story. It was a good time. I am so glad I read The Boyfriend Candidates. I spent a lot of time in my home state of West Virginia, and it gave me the inspiration to read books that were taking place in the South or like in a small town, just anything that just helped me to reminisce on the good old days and feel nostalgic, and anything that would resonate with me as one country girl to another. And I was able to do that with my Magnolia Summer, written by Victoria Benton Frank. I knew nothing about Victoria Benton Frank's mother, and apparently she was known to be a Southern author, an author who had a series of books about Southern living, and unfortunately she passed away. And this is Victoria's debut novel where she's trying to just follow in her mother's footsteps and carry on her legacy. Although I've never read a single one of her mother's books, I have to say, that mama has to be proud. This book was sheer delight, which is kind of ironic because there were some heavy moments, but it just oozed with just such character, not just the characters themselves, but like the storylines, the setting in Charleston, South Carolina, and this family of women. It was a generational novel, and I loved every single minute. This is actually why I slowed down my reading over the summer, is because I wanted to just revel in this book and take my time because I was having so much fun. Our main character, Magnolia, also known as Maggie, is an aspiring chef in New York City. She's from Charleston, South Carolina, and she ends up having to go home because her dear grandmother, affectionately known as Gran, was in a car accident and is not doing well. She's in the hospital. Unfortunately, this car accident was caused by Maggie's mother, Lily. Lily is an alcoholic. She has struggled with alcoholism over the years, and Maggie and her mother do not have the best relationship. Maggie also has a little sister by the name of Violet. Yes, they're all named after flowers. And her little sister is dating Maggie's high school sweetheart and hoping that they will get engaged and get married. So it's a little complicated. Maggie, whose roommate in New York, is a dear friend from home. He goes with her to South Carolina, back home, to care for Grant. Now, here's the added element to this story that is so sweet. They being Maggie's family of women, own this restaurant that's been in their family for numerous generations called the Magic Lantern. It is actually the place that inspired Maggie to become a chef. And Maggie's been away for quite some time due to COVID and the busyness of her career rising in New York City. And she returns to the Magic Lantern, and it is not the Magic Lantern that she grew up with. It is struggling. It's not doing well. So there's a lot of food talk here, a lot of things happening at the restaurant. Maggie also runs into this fine doctor in Charleston, South Carolina, that she becomes smitten with. She has this weird relationship, complicated relationship with a fellow sous chef in New York City. So she's kind of trying to choose between the two men. So you've got romance, you've got family drama, you've got some restaurant vibes. And the beach. Like, can we mention that? Like, there's beach life. It is so jam-packed with all things good. I loved my Magnolia Summer. Then, taking a serious tone, I read the required summer reading for all of the employees at my place of employment, and it is titled The Emotional Lives of Teenagers, written by Lisa D'Amour. I absolutely love this psychologist. I think she is one of the psychologists that I really go to and lean on for advice to help inform my parenting and also my interactions with students. And this book delivered in so many ways. It was structured in a way that busted some myths about teenagers and their emotional lives and their emotions and the way that they display those emotions and what those emotions really mean, and how we as the adults around them can support them as they navigate through these emotions. She balances science so well with real applicable narratives of examples of these myths being busted in real time and in real life situations. And she makes it very tangible, digestible. It's not too sciencey where it's over people's heads if you're not really into that or understanding of the psychology, the science behind the development, really, of teenagers and their brains. So I really appreciated it. I also appreciated how she doesn't give a one-size-fits-all approach. Children, our youth, they come from all different walks of life, different beliefs, different races, ethnicities, and gender identities and sexualities. And she addresses all of that. There's not a one-size-fits-all approach in this book. So I think we did a great job at my job of choosing The Emotional Lives of Teenagers. And then we have a classic that helps me check off yet another Black classic by a Black author, and it is The Color Purple. Oh my lordy. I have never seen this movie all the way through. I had never read the book, and I am so glad I did in the month of August because you guys, it was a transformative reading experience. We have two sisters. We have Celie and Nettie, and they are bound together by unconditional love and unimaginable traumas. Yet they are physically separated for most of this book. Yet you realize that relationships transcend space. This is the perfect example of that, where no matter how far you are from a loved one, someone whom you truly love with your all, you are still going to be forever connected. And I just really appreciated that. And you get to discover and learn more about Nettie and Celie. They get to discover and learn more about themselves individually by being separated. And I really appreciated that. These side characters, I have to say there's no such thing as side characters in this book. Every single character is fully fleshed out, multi-layered, full of complications that really exemplify the human experience. So I appreciated that. This book is delightful. I ended up talking more about this book in my video where I was reading books that had purple in the title and or cover. So check that out if you want to learn more of my thoughts. So I am recording this wrap up a little bit before August officially wraps up. I am in the middle of 2 reads, and when I did that, it's not 2, it's 4, isn't it? 2 reads. And I want you to take a guess. Let's take a guess together. Will I finish these reads in August? In my September wrap up, I will let you know whether I finish them in August or September. So I would love to know if you think I can do it. The first one being The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. Henrietta Lacks is a Black woman who's known to have these HeLa cells that were used and continue to be used to engage in medical research that has moved our medicine forward in America and around the world. And her family did not get compensated. These HeLa cells were taken from Henrietta Lacks unbeknownst to her without her formal permission. And the author ends up interviewing, connecting with folks who knew and loved Henrietta Lacks. And the story is really one that is, yes, scientific, but also full of narratives and a bigger picture of the ethics, how unethical and unethically Black people have been treated when it comes to medicine and medical research. So I am just so spellbound and so just swept away by this audiobook. Like, I cannot wait to tell you more about it. So there's that. And the second book that I'm wondering if I can finish in August is Party of Two, Book 5 in the Wedding Date series by Jasmine Guillory. We have Alexa Monroe's sister, Olivia, running into a cutie patootie by the name of Max. Max, this is very similar to The Boyfriend Candidate in that Max is a politician. Now, he's not running for governor. He is a U.S. Senator of California. So they meet at a bar, and I mean, look, we know it's not going to be just a one-time thing. I am so early into this book, but I'm flying through it. So do you think I'm going to finish it? We'll see in my September wrap-up. Okay, I think this is the thinnest stack that I have ever had on LaRosa Reads before, but that's okay. I enjoyed every single book, and that's what matters. This is not a race. This is not a numbers game. This is an immersive reading experience that serves to be a form of escape for me and self-care, and that's all that matters. What did you read in August? Let me know in the comments below. Also, check out what my September reading plans are by checking out my September TBR video. And until next time, keep on reading, baby. Bye.